Welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity, and we're going to answer another question from the jar. I am going to set my timer or get it ready to be set as I pull out a question from the jar. Oh, hard to get one. And I will set my timer, take a deep breath, and exhale, ego away. Okay. The question I received was, why do you do this exercise? Are you getting what you expected from it? Why do you do this exercise? Are you getting what you expected from it? By this exercise, I think they mean by me answering these questions, coming here every day and exposing myself on this YouTube channel to answer questions. And am I getting what I expected from it? Well, let's start with the first question. Why do I do what I do? And I know that's something I've been asked several times and attempted to answer, and it's something I ask myself every day that I come here. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Who is getting something from it? Is it the ego or is it the true self? What kind of wholesome reasons are bringing me here, and what kind of unskillful reasons are bringing me here? And there's a combination of it all, right? So when I ask the first part, is it ego or is it spirit? Of course, ego is involved. I can still feel ego in the background. You know, it likes to be seen, it likes to be heard, and this is a medium through which it can be seen and heard. Though ego is two-faced, right? We have the redeemer ego looking to gain something from doing this, looking to get readers, looking to get viewers, looking to get those likes and those subscribers. And yeah, though that was never my intention initially to get subscribers or to get likes. In fact, I never asked anyone to subscribe. I'm definitely not monetizing off of this. I'm just coming here because I feel a compulsion to do this, which I believe goes beyond ego. But that being said, ego is still involved and redeemer ego is there. And as soon as I see the tail of a redeemer ego, shamer ego comes up to pull it by the tail and bring it back down. And shamer ego is that part of me that says, oh my gosh, why are you exposing yourself like that? That is so embarrassing. Half the time you don't even comb your hair, and you get it there and you just start talking about these woo-woo things that no one wants to hear, that goes against everything you've been brought up to believe. And here you are exposing yourself in this way. And what are people going to say that know you if they ever run across you, even though you don't you put it up on public, but you don't publicize or promote in any way? Say if someone runs across your video and they see you doing this and they recognize you, what are they going to say about us? And how is that going to be? And da-da-da-da-da. So I do have shamer and redeemer ego both involved in this process of me coming here to answer these questions. But like I said, initially, it wasn't about likes or dislikes or anything. It wasn't about ego. I felt compelled to come here. As I learned this valuable information, I feel compelled to share it. And being an educator for many years, I see the two-sided coin of education, right? What we teach, we learn, and when we learn, we teach, and they go hand in hand, and they cannot be separated. So as I learn, I feel this compulsion to share what I learn about all the many things that take us deeper beyond what we've been conditioned to believe is all reality is. I feel myself questioning and learning and expanding that questioning into the teaching that I do here. So not that I call myself a teacher, but I feel that the necessity of sharing what I'm learning, and that compels me to come here. It's a gut thing. I don't feel right unless I do it. Once I get my entry in for the day when I'm blogging, or the odd time that I come here to do these videos, once that is done, I feel like, oh, I've accomplished something. I'm being my true self. I'm going against society's expectations of me and the convictions of society, and I'm doing what something inside me that is much bigger than society is compelling me to do. So though I still have attachment to what people might think, I still have an ego that's sometimes concerned about the opinion of others. The majority of this that brings me here is that part of me that's not concerned, or is that's taking me beyond what ego wants, to share something that is beyond me. So this is a bigger compulsion to come here to share what I'm learning. And yeah, I'm risking, society's opinion of me, and I'm risking what my shamer can do, because my shamer is pretty nasty at times. It doesn't like me exposing myself. Yet here I am exposing myself by answering these questions that I know I'm not answering perfectly. And this thing inside me that's compelling me to come here tells me it doesn't have to be answered perfectly. It just has to be answered. It just have to have all that information that I've been accumulating and growing inside me, incubating inside me, to come out in a succinct way in a 10-minute period that makes sense, at least to me, this individual, this human that I think I am, if not to no one else, right? So that's what the compulsion is, this learning. So it's deeper than what I can really explain, and so a lot of times I'll say I don't know why I'm coming here, because I really don't. I don't understand this compulsion completely, other than the fact that I know if I don't heed it, I feel like I'm missing out on something. I feel like I'm not serving my life the way I'm supposed to. Not that anybody will read this or listen to this or, tap into my blogs or what I call a channel, only because that's what you call it on YouTube, I suppose. I just feel the need to do this, to record, I guess, what I'm learning, to record it. And this is a means of recording it. It also serves the part of me that feels the need to assimilate learning, the mental capacity I have as an educator, which always you put it all in a succinct form. Everything you've learned, you got to express it in a way that demonstrates your learning. And this is one way of doing that, right? It demonstrates the learning to me, if no one else. And that's why I do it, because I want to know that what I've learned is brewing inside me in a succinct way that will come out and be expressed in a way that can be understood at least by this human. Right? So that's one of the reasons why I do it too. And there's also a skillful and unwholesome reason for distraction. It gives me something to do. It gives me this idea of a purpose that we humans get so attached to needing, thinking we need to have a purpose in our day. We have to have a purpose. We have to do something that's considered valuable. So that part of me, which is still ego, brings me here as well. It's a distraction. It's fun. I love to speak. I've been a Toastmaster for many years, and to help me get over my fear of exposing myself in public. And I love that speaking ability, and I love the challenge of picking out a question and not knowing what it's going to say, and seeing if I can, dig into the recesses of my mind and any tiny bit of skill I have as a speaker to bring it out into a way that can be understood by another human being. So it's a challenge as well, and I like that challenge. It's a distraction. Challenge gives me this false sense of purpose. In fact, my day does not feel like I've accomplished anything until I've written a blog entry or done a video. And I don't do a video every day, mind you. It's mostly the writing as a writer that I feel the compulsion to do, but this is a part of that. This coming here every day is a part of that. So that's basically why I do what I do, if that makes any sense. And then the other part of that question was, do you feel like you've met those goals or those expectations you've had for coming here? I didn't really have any expectations when I came here. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I would get readers, or I did not know if I would get viewers. If my intention was, if I was the only one learning and growing from this, so be it. That's what I would do. I wasn't thinking about the fruits of the action. I was just thinking about the action and this compulsion I had to come here and express myself and express what I was learning. I had hopes, I suppose, that people would tap in and learn from this and grow from this and find it beneficial. Whether or not they liked me or didn't like me was never on the radar. I'm sure there's a lot of people that just listen for 2 seconds and click off and say, who is that crazy lady, and click off, or what's she talking about, woo nonsense or whatever, or look at the look of her, I don't even want to follow through. And that's okay. I don't feel myself dependent on that good opinion of other individuals when it comes to this action that I do here. It seems to be a very much inspired action rather than an ego action, though ego is still involved. So it's like, it's not about me. I'm just a shell that it's coming through, and I'm just doing this and for whatever reason, and it's not about what me can gain from it. Though ego's still around, so ego likes to check the likes and check the how many people read that and how many people followed that video or whatever, how many subscribers do I have now, and Ego likes a classroom as an educator, so it likes to have a classroom full of viewers and listeners and readers. So if I had any expectations, it would have been, well, give me my lecture hall that I used to lecture in on occasion as an educator was fitted about 50 students, and I thought, well, if I could get that would be ideal, right? And I've got more than that now, so I guess I've exceeded that part of Ego's expectations. As far as the true self that's motivated to come here, I really don't think it has expectations. It's just doing what it feels compelled to do. Wow, I don't know if that made sense, but I definitely talked over 10 minutes. So I hope that answered the question, and thank you for that wonderful question. May you have an amazing day. Namaste.